it's your soul sister, Katrina Slade, and welcome to the Truer Podcast, a soul-centered podcast to nurture a deeper connection to your true self. I have a confession to make. The past few years, I've been through an earth-shattering spiral of death and rebirth, and by learning the language of my soul, I have come out of that creating so much alignment in my life. If you're struggling with your current life situation, if you're feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or unsure, then we need to talk about the Golden Truth Method. It's a method that I've discovered that allows you to speak with your higher intelligence, the inner wisdom within you. It's like the language of your soul. Because when you continue to ignore the voice of your soul, it makes you feel frustrated. And then you start to feel disconnected from your true self. And when that happens, life just feels really hard. You might be like me, prone to repeating the same unhelpful patterns that cause the same unwanted outcomes. So just take a second to notice, isn't hustling through life dimming your inner light? I'm here to tell you it's not only frustrating, but it's holding you back from living your truest life. No, you don't have to attend week-long spiritual retreats or invest thousands of dollars in a life coach. You can begin to take your power back in a few simple steps that truly work for real people like me and for you. So keep listening to this episode for some intuitive messages and stories about how the Golden Truth Method revealed itself to me, plus an actual guided practice. And if you want to dive deeper, I welcome you to join me in Truer. It's a free 7-day immersion event where I will teach this method in much greater detail. There is the link in the show notes. Now let's dive into the episode. Hi, and welcome to the brand new Truer podcast. This is an intimate, sacred space to guide you along your journey of becoming true, your journey of self-discovery, of healing, of awakening to the truth within you. I am your host, Katrina Slade, and if you don't already know me, I am your soul sister. I am a spiritual mentor, and fun fact, I've been a healer since before I was born. You heard that right. There is a story my mom has about when I was in her belly as a baby growing. She had been suffering from really bad eczema on her hands. My mother was suffering so bad from this like itchy, painful, cracking skin on her hands, and she heard the voice of the baby within her, which is me, tell her, put your hands on the belly, put your hands over me, and I will heal you. And that is what happened. Her hands were healed after she had that mystical experience. All right, let's get into this episode. In this episode, I'm going to share with you a really important discovery I made. Sometimes I call it an epiphany, sometimes I call it an awakening. It's a really important discovery that has changed everything in my life for the better. It has helped me get more in alignment, more on path, more in my power. And I want to share that with you today. But first, I want to invite you to just take a moment to fully arrive here. Even if you're driving, even if you're in the middle of doing something when you're listening to this, you can just take a moment, and I invite you to put your hand or your hands on your heart, and let's just breathe into the heart for a moment. Breathing in calm and peace, and breathing out whatever wants to go. And as you do this 2 more times, in and out, just check in with your heart and see, what is your heart holding? What is on your heart? And give it some attention that it needs. All right, we are going to get into this episode now. I am going to share with you some of my own stories to help you understand what this discovery is or has been or was. And I'm going to guide you in a guided practice. And you can do this as you're listening, or you can come back to the practice later and do it when it's a better time for you. But I'm going to guide you in a guided practice that is this discovery that changed everything in my life. And I really want it to change everything in your life too. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to my 7-day free soul deep immersion. It's an event that I'm calling Truer, and it's going to guide you through a process of deepening and deepening a connection to yourself, to your soul. It's going to guide you through a process of learning the language of your soul, learning to listen and receive messages from your soul. And this is going to change your life. So, what I have in this episode today is actually just a little glimpse of what happens in this 7-day immersion. So, I invite you to sign up. You can get your ticket for free. Join me. It's going to be amazing. It's from May 11th to 16th, 2025. It's online. I would love to see you there. All right, let's talk about this discovery. I want to put it into context though. Years ago, I had my spiritual awakening. And in fact, we're all having our spiritual awakenings. If you're here, you're probably having your own spiritual awakening. And I've just had layers and layers of it. And there's cycles and seasons within that. But I was having my spiritual awakening for the first time. This was about 2020 when the world stopped and I actually had time to be with myself. And I felt this calling from within to start diving into some of these topics like past lives, like intuition, the Akashic records, a lot of things I've been talking about for years. And of course, I needed to develop my intuition. I ended up taking a course from a teacher. I ended up taking a course from a teacher to learn how to read the Akashic records, learn how to read energy. I learned how to do energy healing from other teachers. And I was learning and learning from the outside, which was good. I was building a foundation. I ended up getting so into this that it became my biggest passion in life, which is what led me here. But every morning, I would do these journeying meditations. I would meditate, go to my inner landscape inside of myself, and I would journey to different realms. And I would often try and meet my guides, meet my spirit guides. I would seek them out. I would ask them for guidance. And I realized that over time, I was always looking outside of myself for answers. I was always looking at other psychic readers, other spiritual teachers. I was like reading books and reading and reading. And of course, this is an important stage of development. But after a while, I came to realize that there is so much power within me, and I started listening to my intuition even more. So around last year in 2024, the whole world was going into the eclipse cycle, the eclipse season in the fall. And I started getting this strong, almost like alarm in my head telling me, you have to go away, you have to go retreat, you have to go into the woods. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't want to go into the woods. What is this? And in the end, I couldn't ignore this voice. It said, go away, go into the woods, go on a solo retreat. So I did. And I actually talk about that a lot more in an upcoming episode. So I'm not going to dive too deep into that right now. But I had to follow what my intuition was telling me. And in fact, I almost had no choice. It was just glaringly obvious that I have to do this, and I don't know why. So I did, and it wasn't easy. I had to convince my husband that this is what I needed. Spend hundreds of dollars on, I got this glamping tent because I'm not really the rough camping type. So I went away for 4 nights, 5 days. And when I was alone, truly alone in the woods, out in nature, I had this huge discovery that I can access so much information, so much wisdom, so much truth within me. And I developed this method that I was guided to, I was shown, I guess, through my own intuition. I would meditate and listen within, and I would ask questions, and I was shown a lot of things. I was being guided from within. And I want to mention here that there's a difference between being guided by your ego mind, by thinking and saying, oh, I need to do this because of XYZ, like having a logical thinking mind is completely different than going within the self. And I'm talking about within the heart or within your womb, if you have one, in your energy centers that are all about sensing, all about receiving, all about feeling. And so this is where you can tap in and start learning the language of your soul, learning how to speak to this very wise part of you. What I started doing there was receiving a lot of wisdom, a lot of guidance on how I needed to move forward in my life. And a lot of that had to do with what my work is in the world, what I am here to create, what I am here to birth into the world. And that is this today, as I'm recording, this is a direct result of that guidance I was receiving in my solo retreat. So for months and months, I've been practicing this and practicing this method I'm going to be showing you today. And I started incorporating it into my one-on-one client work. When I have a private mentorship with a client, I'll work with them through what they need support in through their healing journey. And I started finding it being extremely successful every single time I did this, either with myself or with a client. It was incredible. And I had clients tell me how amazed they were that they were able to tap into themselves and receive such important guidance and information. And I really do believe this is through the spark of the divine within you. The spark of the divine is within all of us, this life force energy that enlivens us, that gives us consciousness. It's within us, just like it's within the plants, just like it's within the rocks and the minerals and everything. What we're doing when we go through this practice that I'm going to guide you in, it's tapping into that deep inner truth. And it's really simple. It is so simple that I can't believe we're not all living our lives like this. So, what I call this practice is the golden truth method. It's a way of tapping in and receiving really important answers, inner truth. It's basically like having a conversation with your soul. And this has been life-changing for me. Life-changing. It's helped me in so many ways. You know what? I'm going to talk about that after, but right now I really want to guide you into this practice, the golden truth method. Now, I do want to have a little note here. I actually recorded like 11 podcast episodes before this one because, that I was inspired and I did them. And in the other episodes, which will be released in the future, I call it the Golden Heart Wisdom Practice because it has to do with the heart center. But in my recent meditation, I was shown that this is the podcast that needs to go out first. And I was shown it needs to be called the Golden Truth Method. So I hope that's not confusing. There's two different words I use for that. But anyway, we'll not get into that too deeply. But before we get into the practice, I want to remind you that I am hosting a free 7-day immersion. And in this immersion, we're going to go even deeper. You're going to have access to live calls with me. There's going to be a live energy healing with me. It's all online. And This is a practice I'm going to teach in the 7-day immersion, but I'm going to teach it in a much deeper level. There's going to be Q&As. You can ask questions, and it's going to be incredible to all the participants to be able to access this deep soul language within themselves. And we all have different languages, honestly. I have a private client who her soul speaks to her through Disney archetypes or archetypes of characters from her favorite childhood shows and movies. And honestly, these characters are all deeply symbolic. I have another client who sees things as like objects, like she'll see her anger as a dark cloud, and she'll see her mother wound as a black hole. So there's different ways your soul speaks to you, and each one of us is unique. So if you join the Truer event, it's a free event, it's a 7-day soul deep immersion. You're going to get a lot more of this practice there. Okay, let's get into it for real. So if you're at a point in your day where you can't sit down, settle, and really go within yourself for about 10 minutes, then just listen to this through once and come back to the practice when you do have a moment to really focus within. And if you can do that now, great, let's do it. What we're going to do is drop out of our mental energy, which we're in all day long. We're always thinking, remembering, analyzing, judging, criticizing ourselves, being fearful. We're always in our minds, and we need to drop into the body more. We need to drop into the heart. Or, you know what? I'm going to invite you to, if you feel guided, you can drop all the way down into your sacral chakra, which is below your belly button. So if you have female anatomy, it's your womb space. And if you don't, it's still a feminine energy center. The reason we want to do this is because these are our centers where we can connect to the deep, almost primordial wisdom within us, that spark of the divine I told you about earlier, that aspect of us that is consciousness, that is life force, that is some higher intelligence that we don't have access to when we're in our thinking minds. So let's do it. All right. I invite you to sit in a comfortable position. And if you can, eliminate your distractions. I always turn my phone on do not disturb mode. And putting our hands on your heart. And we're going to just breathe into the heart for a moment. Breathing in calm and peace. And breathing out whatever wants to go. Breathing in calm and peace. And breathing out whatever wants to go. And as you inhale, imagine you're filling your heart space with beautiful light on the in-breath. And on the out-breath, anchoring deeper and deeper into the heart space. And do this a few more times. And as you do, setting an intention for this practice, that you receive all that you most need, that you are calling in the highest outcomes for this practice. And now think of an area in your life where you really need clarity. You really need clarity in a certain area of your life, whether it's parenting, whether it's work, whether it's a relationship. What area of life do you need clarity? And breathing into the heart still. And we're going to call forward the energy of that. If it's your relationship, if it's your parenting, the energy of that or the consciousness of that aspect of your life. So for me, it might be my business. So I'm going to call forward the energy, the consciousness of my business. For you, it will be what's most in need of clarity for you. And if this energy had a physical form or a body. It's coming into your conscious awareness now. It might look like something. It might look like a rock. It might look like a character. It might look like an item, piece of mechanical machinery. Whatever it is, just let it come to you in your mind's eye, or I should say your heart's eye, in your heart's awareness. Let this energy come to you. And it might help if you're having trouble connecting. Speak it out loud. Say, I am calling forward the energy of blank, whatever the thing is for you. Speak it out loud and call it forward. Deepen into the heart. And once you have some kind of sense of what this energy looks like, noticing what does it feel like? Is it angry? Is this energy strung out with stress? Is this energy feeling good and peaceful? What does this energy feel like? And if this energy had a voice, what would it be saying? What would it be saying to you? Is it saying, I'm tired? Is it saying, leave me alone? Is it saying, I don't want to keep going? What is it saying to you? If it could speak. And you might want to give it some encouragement. Say, thank you for coming. You can say, how are you? Is it ready to bloom? Is it ready to come? Is it ready to grow into a new era? Is it ready to have a nap? How is it doing? How are you? You can ask it. And you can ask, why are you this way? Maybe it said, I'm not good. Why are you not good? Let's ask it questions and find out more about this energy. Ask this energy, what do you need? What do you need to be in a better state? What do you need to be more happy? What do you need to be more balanced? Whatever that ideal state is, what do you need to be that way? What do you need? If you're having trouble concentrating, just continue to breathe into the heart. We're really trying to focus inwards through the heart chakra. What do you need? And you can ask, what am I not yet seeing that I need to see about this situation in my life? What have I not yet seen that I need to see? And is there anything that wants to happen now? Is there any interaction between you? Is there any way you can give it what it needs? What would that look like? Just seeing what wants to happen within this scene. And is there anything else that you want to say to this energy, or that this energy wants to say to you before we come to a close? You can ask it a question. You can ask, what are my next best steps to give you what you need? And if you need to pause, you can. Or if you're finished, taking a deep breath in and just feel so much gratitude for this process that has opened up within you. Breathe out. All right. You have just accessed the language of your soul. Every energy that you can bring forward it from your life. Let's say for me, it was my business. I wanted to receive clarity from my business. So I called the soul of my business forward, or the energy of my business. I like to use the word soul of my business when I'm working with my business. And to me, it looks like this beautiful indigo blue seashell. I don't know why, but that's how it looks to me. And so I actually am able to work with this anytime I need it. In fact, every Monday is my soul business day. And I sit down and I do a meditation with the soul of my business and I receive guidance. So instead of me strategizing and thinking, how does this need to happen? How does this need to be? I'm receiving the guidance from within me. And in fact, I'd like to take notes while I'm doing this. That's how I've evolved this method is it's a method where I actually receive guidance in my life and I can take the actions I need to take. So if you were able to connect inwards and actually receive something, that's amazing. I'm really proud of you. I'm really happy for you. And if you weren't, consider some of these factors. Were you rushing around and not feeling settled? Were you distracted by noises, like maybe your kid is in the other room making noises or whatever? Were you distracted in your thoughts with something else? So this is just a method that takes practice. That's why I want to encourage you to sign up for the Truer event I'm hosting, the 7-day immersion, because there's going to be a lot more opportunities to practice this in that event. And I will be much more supportive and much more present there than I can be in the podcast, because this is just a pre-recorded thing. So sign up if that sounds good to you. I'll just put the link in the show notes. But I wanted to just share a little bit more before we close this out about how I use this in my life and how I've used it with my clients. This golden truth method is, like I said, it's been life-changing for me. And I use it a lot with my business. Like I said, for example, I said on Mondays, I sit down. I usually have a list of questions I want to ask my business, like, okay, how can I bring more innovation into this thing I'm trying to make? Or, in fact, usually before I record a podcast, I'll meditate and say, okay, what wants to come through in this podcast episode? And then I'll receive wisdom and notes. And oftentimes it's much better than what my little ego mind could have thought of. I also do this with my health. I do suffer from endometriosis. A lot of women do. It's just not talked about very often because of stupid stigmas, but it's an autoimmune disease. And so I'm able to tap in, call forward the energy or the consciousness of the dis-ease and talk to it and ask it, what is it and what is it representing? You can do this with money. You can call forward the soul of your finances, the energy of your finances. You can call it forward and ask, how do you want to flow? What do you need to become more magnetic to the money? You can do this, oh my gosh, in so many ways. In a more inner healing style, which I do with my one-on-one clients, is, for example, I had a client who had a mother wound. Her mother didn't mother her the way she really needed. And so she's been feeling difficult emotions towards her mother since her teen years. And when we did this practice together, like I said earlier, the mother wound, the consciousness or the energy of the mother wound, it showed up in her heart's awareness and it looked like a black hole. And she was afraid of the black hole. But when we work with it, when we talk to it, we ask it questions, and then we ask, what do you need? And it just needed to be seen and it needed to be nurtured. And then by the end of the practice, there's some kind of inner alchemy that happens when I'm guiding you. If I'm guiding you through this, I'm pretty good at directing the prompting to see what it needs, what it wants, but we're really just receiving the information. You can't pre-plan like, oh, this is going to happen and then this is going to happen. We're asking what wants to happen, what do you need, and then like, how can we give that to you? So this is all very out of the ordinary. It's like parts work in the psychological space, but this is a little different. But it is like these are all parts of you. You're speaking through your soul. Your soul is speaking to you in these ways. This is the language of your soul. It wants you to know these things about these parts of you. And it's really amazing when you can live your life in this way where you can deepen this skill set. It is a skill set. It takes practice. It's a guided method, and I can guide you in it here and in the immersion, the 7-day event I'm hosting that's free, by the way, or in my private clients. Another option is the Becoming True membership, and every month I'm guiding different practices. I'm doing group readings, and there's a lot of really good stuff there too. So you can actually sign up for free. So check that out if that feels good for you. Oh, I don't want to forget. I wanted to mention that in leading up to my Truer event, the 7-day immersion, I am putting on a giveaway. And this giveaway is actually very generous. It's valued at more than $500. It's going to be a 2-hour private mentorship session with me in my mentorship container that I call True Temple. It's where I work with you one-on-one, like a private guide, a private mentor, and I coach you through your healing, and I can work with you like I would a private client. And one session is 2 hours. Whoever wins the giveaway is going to win this session with me, and it's valued at over $500. So you do not want to miss this giveaway. Make sure you enter. Details in the show notes.
One more thing. I just want to tell you, I love you, and I'm proud of you for doing the inner work, for showing up, and for choosing a truer life. If this episode resonated with you, if it helped you access a deeper truth within yourself, then please share it with someone you love, because the world needs more of us living our truer lives, and your light creates a ripple. If you're ready to go deeper, I would love to welcome you into the Becoming True membership. It's where we explore these truths in real time, with meditations, healing sessions, and soul-aligned guidance and support to help you on your path to becoming true. You can join for free right now at the link in the bio. Okay, now for the outtakes.
I am your co-host. No, oh my gosh. Katrina, it's okay. You got this. I'm actually from a lineage of psychic. No. Why is this hard for me to do? I'm gonna start over. Eczema on her hands. Eczema, I don't know. A lot of people started. No, I don't want to talk about that. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. I saw a big flash right next to me when I said that. I don't know if you saw it on camera, but oh, hello, ancestors. Spirit guides. It's funny, I'm talking about spirit guides and I see a big flash. That was weird. So what I call this method is the golden truth method. Wait, is that what I call it?
This has been a Truer Media production. The Truer podcast is created and produced by me, Katrina Slade. Music by Frequently Asked Music. Wordmark by Annika Samples of Incandescent Creative. Cover photography by Lucenda Richard. Time for the really short legal talk. This podcast is presented solely for educational purposes. I am your soul sister. I am a spiritual guide, but I am not a licensed physician, psychologist, or other qualified medical professional. I hope to see you again.